Hello, hello. Look at this beautiful group of people here today. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming today. This is the Unscripted Real Estate Show. How's it going, Martha?
It's going amazing. This is our second one of the week, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm excited to have this entire group full of experts and, of course, our lovely guests joining us today.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear about who is here joining us. It's really nice to see you, Donna. I see Donna here. She is here from Donna Frio Associates, and they are our amazing home inspector. So welcome, Donna. How are you?
I'm great. I'm loving this group and the music that was on before the show began. And happy again to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes. So, Sarah, how about let's give a little bit of an introduction on what the Unscripted Real Estate Show is, and then I'd love to go on and introduce this lovely crowd over here.
So, the Unscripted Real Estate Show, what are we all about and why the heck are you here? Well, Martha, what we found is our buyers and sellers tend to just I say buyers and sellers, really all of us go to Google and kind of type in our question and hope that we get the right answer. And a lot of times it is fake news. I don't know if you guys have ever come across fake news on Google, but I certainly have. And the last thing we want to do when we're buying a home or selling a home is get fake news or not good news. So why we're here today is to open the floor to our buyers and sellers who might have questions about real estate in general. We have an entire room full of pros here. Every single person is here from Northern Virginia. So we're getting really localized on our expert information that we're providing. And we're here to have a little bit of fun with it too. We're going to see whether our role player is going to be correct or incorrect. And so I'm excited to get started with you guys today. Martha, who's here with us?
Yes, I'm excited to find out who the role player is. I'm sure they're going to be awesome. And let's begin with an introduction on the team here. We'll starting with myself. My name is Martha Elizabeth Aguilar. Growing up as a child of immigrant parents, I was taught to always pursue more. As a teen, I assisted the leaders of tomorrow, our children, for nearly a decade. And it was very clear that my purpose was to always serve. I transitioned to serving the leaders of today, such as the JS Realty team. I virtually assist the team through transaction management and all things marketing. I'm also owner of Morelli VA, a virtual assistant agency, along with being a co-founder and leader of I Am Community, which is an online community of women empowerment. And I guess a fun fact about myself is that I have 52 cousins. Yes, that is a fact.
52?
Yes, I know.
Wait, does anybody in this entire room right now have any more than 52? Or are you just killing us? Anybody, raise your hand, speak up. More than 52 cousins. I certainly do not.
Yes, it's very common in the Latin community. That's for sure.
I think they call them Latin lovers for a reason.
Yes, very, very true. So thank you all for having me here. I am also going to be your co-host and perhaps another role. We'll see. We'll find out a little later. Next, I'd love to introduce our show producer, Jenna Charpentier. Jenna started working at the age of 7 in Hollywood, California, appearing in several commercials, TV shows, a movie, and on whatever stage you can find. She is an artistic, headstrong Latina and is often referred to as the brains of the operation for whatever tasks she sets her sights on. She has the ability to see situations from multiple points of views and creates a creative approach to her work that has spanned not only multiple decades, but multiple industries. Jenna is currently trying to convince her husband and 2 children that they need to take a vacation to Europe before the end of 2022. Jenna, I love you, girl. You're amazing, and the show could not happen without your help. So thank you, Jenna. Next, I'd love to introduce our expert realtors, starting with Beth Dunn. Beth is a Northern Virginia OG, having grown up in Loudoun County, so she's watched this area grow and change quite a bit. She's a powerhouse realtor helping countless families find their dream home. Beth also owns an investment property and is the director of Samson Property Management. So her expertise comes from her years of professional and personal experience. She's also a huge foodie and is teaching her adorable 2-year-old daughter to appreciate the finer things like bacon and cheese. Thank you, Beth, for being here. Next, we have realtor Chris Madison. Coach Chris is also a Northern Virginia OG and grew up in Falls Church City. He's passionate about giving back and making a difference, often participating in charitable golf tournaments and local community events. As a former college athlete, Chris takes a coach role with his clients, so he's able to successfully guide them through their real estate transactions. He's also a hashtag girl dad to 2 beautiful teenage girls who also have a love for sports. So thank you for being here.
Does Chris have a fun fact that he wants to share with us today?
Ooh, put me on the spot here. Fun fact. Let's see. How many of you can say that you've worked at a rodeo before?
Did you say rodeo?
Rodeo. I actually worked at the Cody, Wyoming rodeo one summer.
What did you do for them? This is ridiculous.
Friend of mine's family was in, they helped manage it, and I worked concessions. Really exciting job, but yeah, I worked for a rodeo.
You were there.
I'm glad you didn't tell us that you were mucking the stalls.
You rodeo clown, right?
That's right, Linda. We'll talk later.
That is definitely a fun fact. Thank you, Chris, for sharing that. Next, we're going to go to Miss Linda, and I'm curious to hear your fun fact, Miss Linda. Linda Chandler got her start in Northern Virginia as well, but got to experience life aboard being born into a foreign service family. She's been an active member of the Falls Church City community for almost 20 years. Linda has a background in hospitality, which has proven useful in the real estate industry. She has become like a concierge to her clients. They can come to her for anything, and they do. No one roots harder for the Washington Capitals than Linda does. She's currently planning a tropical adventure with her 3 children. Welcome, Linda. What's a fun fact about you? I'm curious.
All right, number 1 fun fact, I'm not taking my children to the tropical location. So that's a fun fact in itself. Fun.
Fun for you.
So, let me get this straight. You're not taking them?
No.
Is this an adults only tropical vacation then?
A fun tropical vacation with friends.
Then you're taking me.
Exactly.
Where are we
going? St. Martin is the next destination.
Katie might be able to hook you up there.
I have to talk to Jenna, I think. Fun fact about me. So before I was a diehard Washington Capitals fan, I actually grew up in the 70s, yes, and was a diehard Redskins fan. And I ended up having season tickets in my 20s and ended up marrying the man with the season ticket next to me. And then we proceeded to have 3 children in 19 months.
Yikes. The fun fact. I love that you met your husband as him being like your seat partner. Is that what it is?
Yep.
I love that. That's fun.
For fun. Well, thank you, Linda, for being here. Next, I'd love to introduce our expert realtor, Jeff Taylor. Yet another Nova OG. Jeff is our triple threat expert realtor, licensed Class A contractor, and director of Samson Property Management. He literally tries to do it all. We have yet to hear him say no to a job, and we often wonder if he ever sleeps. Do you, Jeff? Jeff is passionate about finding his clients quality properties for great values. And in all seriousness, you will not find a more honest, diligent, and ethical human. He is also a dedicated and loyal Washington sports fan, so much so that his dog was named after the Nats outfielder, Juan Soto. Welcome, Jeff. What's a fun fact? Throw it to us.
Thank you. Fun fact, I'm going to take the easy one and say I'm married to the host.
Nice. That's an amazing fun fact. I love it. I love it. Next, we have expert Katie Hickey is the co-founder of the Simmons team at Caliber Home Loans. Katie was born into a family of builders, developers, brokers, and loan officers right here in Northern Virginia. And it's no wonder she's become a driving force in the lending world. She's received world-famous training in management and exemplary customer service by none other than the Ritz-Carlton Company, and it definitely shows. She has lifelong clients and is dedicated to helping people achieve the American dream of home ownership. We're not sure if she sleeps either, especially since welcoming her fourth child just over a month ago. Katie, what's a fun fact about you?
Well, I hired a night nurse last night.
Oh, that must have been a rough night then.
And I don't recall all those emails. I just was telling Sarah not Sarah, host Sarah, but Sarah, our marketing director, a few minutes ago, 8 years ago yesterday, I got hypnotized for a fear of public speaking. And we did a surprise trip for my husband to Vegas, kind of like planned in the morning, left in the afternoon, got to Vegas, and somebody was like, "You want to get hypnotized?" I was like, "Sure." And they said, "What's your biggest fear?" And I said, "Public speaking." And 6 months later, got in front of 1,000 people at an LLS convention. So never turned back.
And how was that experience? How was the experience speaking in front of 1,000 people? Was it as overwhelming with emotion as before you were hypnotized?
No, not at all. It was gone, all of it.
Wow.
So the hypnosis worked.
It worked. It
Okay,
did.
That's awesome. I love that.
I honestly, I was very skeptical of that, so I'm curious. I want to get.
Well, you do such an amazing job. I don't know what you're talking about, your nervousness, because it doesn't show. I was
right.
red, blotchy, squeaky voice, cracking, all the things. I had it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. And
you.
that is definitely a fun fact. Let's move on to Alyssa Maloney, another expert from the Simmons team. Alyssa is not from Northern Virginia. She's actually from sunny Southern California, having moved here just 4 years ago. Since joining the Simmons team, Alyssa has helped them consistently break sales records and work hard to help current and future homeowners with their financing needs. She's also pursuing her bachelor's degree in business management to accompany her 10+ years of experience in the mortgage industry. Alyssa is a beautiful mommy to 2 humans and 2 canines. Welcome, Alyssa. What is a fun fact about yourself?
So like you said, I relocated out here from Southern California. So when we actually relocated, we had no idea where we were going to live until the day before we left. And we ended up packing up all our stuff and driving across the country with 2 dogs in 2 separate cars in the course of 3 days.
Wow.
Had no idea where we were going to live, didn't even see the place before we moved in, just kind of got there, got the keys, unpacked, and that was it.
So I'm kind of sensing there's a lot of bravery here. And
Seriously.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most spontaneous things I've ever done in my life, but it was really, really rewarding and satisfying. So
I'm curious.
Look at you now.
Yeah, I'm curious what even brought you to where you are now. Like what sparked? What was it that?
Well, I mean, my husband got a job and we had always kind of talked about moving out of California, and we just decided to sell our house and go for it. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
Talk about stepping into the discomfort. Wow.
It was great. It was great.
Wow. Thank you, Alyssa. Next, we have Sarah Yossi. She's another expert. Sarah is the client relations and marketing director of the Simmons team. Back to the Northern Virginia OG, Sarah was born and raised in Herndon into a family with real estate, mortgage, and construction industry ties. She tried to do something different by becoming a master hair colorist and stylist for 15 years, but inevitably became involved in the family construction company and is now happily part of the Simmons team. Sarah tries to keep up with her 2 kids in all their activities and has developed a love of cooking and pairing wines. Sarah, what is a fun fact about you?
I am one of, 6, actually, with my parents combined, kids will half step. So we are big seafood eaters, and we always are at competition with each other. And finally, I outdid my dad with crab picking. That's a huge, it's just a fun thing that we do in our family. Seafood with my parents being on the water. So that was, I think it was back in October. So that's a big deal for us to get past him because he's normally the best at everything he does. So
Nice. You beat the best.
Great job. I
I
have a quick question here though. So
Sure.
crab picking competition, is it the amount of meat or is it the number of crabs? Like where does that all come together?
No, it's cleaning the crab, one crab, a blue crab, which can be very difficult.
Yes,
I can remember,
agreed.
I mean, I would have one crab at 4 and my dad would be like, nope, you need to go back and pick more. You know, there's still meat in there. So it's
So
just,
the competition is how clean can you get it?
yes.
I love
It's
that.
it's a fun family thing. So my kids, my nieces, nephews, there's 26 of us total now. So it can get pretty, it's fun.
Love it. That's a great tradition.
It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Sarah. And now we have expert Donna Seeker from Donofrio Inspections. Donna is a serial entrepreneur and has successfully owned businesses since 1991. Since joining Donofrio and Associates, the company has quadrupled in size. She is extremely proud of her family, veteran and female-owned business, and we can totally see why. Donna, how are you? It's nice to virtually meet you. And what is a fun fact that you'd love to share?
What a fun group. Well, let's see. Chris made me think. I wasn't in the rodeo, and I wasn't in the circus. Who was that said circus? Linda. I wasn't the clown, but I did get to do the trapeze once when experiment and experience, because it was a gift from my daughter and we had to climb up 30 feet on the ladder. We could see our legs shaking, that, you know, when she was up there, I could see her and vice versa. But we did it and it was great fun. So I've been on the trampoline.
That's awesome. And now I know what I want to be hypnotized for is to get rid of the fear of heights. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
That's what it would be, because I want to vomit every time.
So Donna, would you go again now that you've done it? Like, or how was that? Like,
It was fun, you know, to fly through the air was pretty wonderful, freeing, but you know, it's also like, oh, I've got to catch that bar that's coming at me. And so I don't think I did it. I think I just fell into the net, but that's okay. I fell into the net. I didn't fall to the ground and I didn't go through the net. So it was okay.
you're still here.
I am.
Love that.
Happy you're here. Saving the best for last, Miss Sarah Taylor. She is AKA our host of the show, award-winning realtor, business owner, entrepreneur, real estate marketing consultant, career development coach, philanthropist, podcaster, author, wife, and fur baby mom, is a proud owner of the top producing JS Realty team. She's on a quest to make herself a household name, recently appearing as an industry expert on Bloomberg TV, CNBC, and the Travel Channel. Sarah calls herself a matchmaker, and we cannot agree more. Her proudest achievement, and we're insanely proud of her as well, is her successful matchup between the National Association of Realtors with the American Foundation for the Blind. Matching these two incredible entities will create awareness, access, and opportunities within the real estate industry for blind and visually impaired individuals. Thank you, Sarah, for everything you're doing, for making this entire show happen and bringing us all amazing humans together. What's a fun fact about you?
A fun fact about me is I would say approximately 20 years ago, I got to meet Sam Elliott, and I became one of his favorite waitresses while they were on shoot in Richmond, and he would come in and ask to sit in my section. The first time I met him, and I don't follow movie stars at all, and so the first time I met him, I was cocktailing one of their parties. I think it was the movie they were doing was The Contender. And I was cocktailing one of their parties. There were famous people all over the place. I had no idea who was anybody. And this guy says, "Can I have a Coors Light, please?" And I was like, "Well, who the hell are you?" And he told me he was Sam Elliott. So we struck up a quick friendship. He is an amazing family man, cherishes his wife, cherishes everything about his community, just a really beautiful human. So that's my fun fact.
That's a fun fact. And I had to Google him because I'm a little bit younger. I had no idea who he was, but yep, very well known. And that is definitely a fun fact. So after introducing our wonderful experts here in the show, I'd love to move on to our guests.
I love that. Let's go. Who do we have here today?
We have in the show Adriana Gracias, who I happen to know. Yes, I invited Adriana. She is really, really into real estate. She's actually located here in northern New Jersey. And yeah, she is interested in buying a future home. And I'd love, Adriana, for you to introduce, a fun fact about you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adriana. Unfortunately, I'm not able to turn on the camera at the moment, but
no problem. We're glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. I guess a fun fact would be, off the top of my head, I'm a florist. I like arranging and designing flower pieces together. And yes, like Martha said, I'm very interested in learning more about real estate. So I'm lucky to be here. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you, Adriana, for being here. And yeah, for participating. I'd love to see, Sarah, please, you have the floor to explain how the game will go, how the game show will work, and for Adriana to participate. So
yes, so I got a little bit started on it earlier, but the way that the game show is going to go for today and moving forward also is we're going to have a role player, and I believe our role player is going to be Beth today. And Adriana, Beth can be anybody that you would want her to be. Basically, you're going to think of it being a question that you're going to ask your crazy uncle Riri, or in other terms, Google. So, what you'll do is you'll ask Beth your question, and Beth is going to answer it. The answer may be right. It may not be right. She might be completely full of it and have a wrong answer altogether. Once we're done, that'll take about 3 minutes, and we'll ask the experts in the room, was that truth or was that a lie? Or maybe it's a partial truth. Sometimes, just as search engines do, you can even just get partial truth. So I'm excited for your questions, Adria, and Beth, how are you feeling about being the role player today?
Here we go.
Here we go. I love it. I love it. Adriana, what would be your question for Riri?
My first question would be, what would you recommend somebody who wants to go about buying their first investment property, like a property they could rent out?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of different steps that you can take. I think the first thing would be speaking to a lender and seeing what your options are for buying an investment property. I think step number 2 would be speaking with a realtor and seeing what they can provide for you for informational purposes. And then I think you kind of go from there.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that went over really quick. Adriana, do you have a second question?
Not at the moment, I don't.
Okay, perfect. So I guess what we'll do is ask the room, was that the correct answer or not?
I would even start off with Katie, of course, because Riri mentioned start with the lending process. So I would say, is that something that you would recommend, Katie, as far as your expertise? Is that the best, the route to go and begin? Let's get the mug
Real
out. You're on
estate.
mute. You're on mute.
Rule number one on Zoom. Yes, so we always suggest, and hopefully agents do too. I've seen so many times where agents have gone out showing properties and wasting their time and going to write offers, come to find out the client's credit score's messed up, or surprise, they have a collection they never knew about. So we always suggest that they talk to us first and get at least at the very minimum pre-qualified, but in this market currently, a pre-approval or a full approval, which we can do. So I have them go on our website, they can come in the office or they can do in person. And we do an application. And once we get the application, we'll send them a list of documentation and complete a pre-approval within 24 hours.
Love that answer. And if someone's looking to do it as an investment property, what kind of down payment is that looking like, Katie?
So they need at least 15% down, but 25% is going to be the best rates.
Okay.
Come April, a lot of companies have already put on that large add-on for investment in second homes. We have not, but their rates are going to be over 5% if they stay where they are today, because there is such a large add-on being added on come April and May.
Interesting. And as far as the real estate side of it, Chris, what would you say about Beth's answer?
I thought Beth had a really good answer. I thought talking to the lender is certainly going to be one of the first things that you want to do. As a realtor, there are a number of different questions that I would have for you, Adriana, as far as what type of investments you're looking to make. There's the opportunity for short-term rentals versus long-term rentals. Long-term rental would be something where you would have a traditional renter in there for an extended period of time, or short-term rental, which is kind of a very interesting, and we're finding can be potentially very lucrative opportunity where you're doing your Airbnbs, your VRBOs, stuff like that. So that would be one question I would have. What type of investment that you're looking into? Are you thinking more of the traditional long-term, or are you thinking potential short-term?
So initially I was thinking long-term, but I have been told that doing it short-term, like through Airbnb, you're able to put down like a lesser down payment, but I don't know how like true that is.
All right, I'm glad we have an expert in the room because I actually do not know how to answer the question. Sarah, Katie, Alyssa, anybody have any feedback as to whether it's less money down when you're purchasing an Airbnb or basically a short-term rental?
That unmute button's not working very well for me today, guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Look at the mouse. Airbnb is the same as an investment property. And I think you guys, the real estate agents, can speak to this, but a lot of places around here don't allow for Airbnb rentals, right? Or they don't allow you to put that on a VRBO or Airbnb. So if you're buying it as an Airbnb, it's still being bought as an investment property, and therefore it's minimum of 15, but once you get to 25% and higher, it's less add-on onto the rate. So.
I love that. Yeah. And I would like to pass this to Donna. Donna, when someone's purchasing a investment property, what type of home inspection advice would you offer?
To treat it the same as you would the home that you were planning to live in yourself, because you want to know if there's any major expenses that have to be taken care of right away, and also the ones that you want to budget for, which is probably even more important in a way for your a rental or investment property, because you're not going to be there day in and day out, and you're relying on whoever it is to communicate with you that, oh, there's a leak or the heat's not working or something like that. Because if any of those little, what might be a little annoyance or inconvenience, if it's let go, it could become a big problem. Whereas if it was taken care of straight away, it would just be, normal maintenance perhaps.
I love that. Do you guys find that you offer a service where you kind of come in every 2 or 3 years for people who do have investment properties and just do a full inspection so we can kind of get ahead of the curve on things?
I don't know that we've been asked to do that, but we certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. Similarly, we have had people that were going into a rental that asked for an inspection.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, very much so. And on the other side of it, people that are getting ready to sell their home, especially if they've been in it for 30 years or something, because by then it's like, oh, you know that this knob doesn't work or this or that, and you don't even think about it because you've been in the home so long. So they want a fresh pair of eyes to come and say what needs to be rectified before they put the home on the market. So, you know, we're going to look at the same 600 to 800 points in the property, regardless of the reason for the inspection. But certainly, you know, if someone wants our services, we're happy to help.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Really great advice today, Donna.
I have a question for you, Donna. That's really interesting. Because I don't know much about, you know, your world, but the fact that you mentioned there was a tenant that had asked for inspections where they lived, is there any boundary to like what part of the building or home you're allowed to inspect that, because they're not the owner, they're a tenant? So just curious on what.
Well, there would be communication with the owner about the inspection because they don't own it. And our inspections are never intrusive. We would never make a hole in a wall. Like if somebody said, oh, this room, it smells musty, I think there's, or it feels damp, I think there's a leak behind that wall. So we don't just like, you know, break a hole in the wall, because no one's going to be happy about that. We have tools to find out if something's going on behind the wall, which, you know, whether you're a seller for a resale, whether you're a tenant, doesn't matter who you are, you know, you can't have that intrusive aspect to the inspection. That would be disastrous all the way around.
No, of course, understood. Well, that actually
for us.
That is some great advice. Thank you.
Great advice.
Thank you.
So believe it or not, we have an anonymous question. So Beth, you are up again, round 2. Okay. Jenna, if you can get a clock going, I will start the question. All right. The question is, I am a first-time buyer. My credit's okay. I have a full-time job, but I literally have nothing saved. I'm tired of renting and want to own a home. Do I have any options, or am I stuck waiting until I have like 20,000 saved?
So response would be, again, get in touch with the lender and see what options are available to you, different kind of loan programs, anything that is out there that they can offer you. And I would suggest looking into a USDA loan and see if that program would work for you. And the best person to tell you that would be a lender for sure.
And are there any costs that I could expect when outside of the lender, where I might need to have a little bit of money to put towards different things?
You will have costs associated with the purchase process, absolutely. If you're going to get a home inspection, if the property is on well or septic and you want to get those inspected, termite inspection, there are different things that are associated during the process. Appraisal.
Okay. And how much is that? All of that? I mean, that's like 4 or 5 things, and I got to pay for all of them?
You do have to pay for them, yes. Each one varies. You know, a well inspection could be around, you know, $350, depending on if they have to excavate or pump. Pump. The termite inspection is not terrible, $40. You do have to get that for the loan process. Home inspection, it all depends on the size of the property. We could find out costs associated for a home inspection before you actually go through it.
Okay, so if I had like, I don't know, a couple grand set aside, I'd be able to make it through that process, you think?
I think so, depending on the type of property that you're purchasing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, that closes out our question, and I will open it up to the experts. What do you guys think about best answer? And I'd love to start with Katie or Sarah or Alyssa, just on the lending side, because that was really a lending heavy question.
That was a lending heavy question. We do 3% down for first time home buyers with mortgage insurance or without. You're going to need, once you are under contract, to pay for an appraisal and a home inspection out of pocket. Everything else is paid once you close on the property. There are programs out there and there are companies out there, and there's even some people within our company that offer and do the bond programs. Our team does not do those, which is 0% down programs. We do VHDA. So if you're buying in Virginia, you can do VHDA, and they have 0% down programs, which we do. So happy to help you out if you're going that route, or if you want to go one of the bond programs, we are happy to refer you to somebody to do those. In this competitive market and in this area right now, anything less than 3% is going to be really tough unless JS Realty finds you a property that nobody else wants.
So you had mentioned the 3% down. My mom has a small inheritance from my grandmother. Would I be able to use any of that?
Yes, you would just have to document that as a gift.
So she can gift me some of the 3% or all of the 3%?
She sure can.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. And then Donna, I would just love to open it up to you on the inspection part of the question and ask, what are your prices around, let's say we're looking at a townhouse. What are your prices around inspections for a townhouse average?
Yeah, very much average, because it's not just the size of the home, but the age of the home. That is what's taken into consideration. But I would say start at $450. And then we can offer the termite inspection. We can offer indoor air quality mold screening, radon. So there's add-on services is my point. So that's why I say starting point of that inspection. But the beauty of it is it's not a question mark while you're having the inspection conducted. You're not sitting there, oh gosh, what's it going to be? When you schedule the inspection, all the pricing is gone over with you, with one of our team members. So there's no surprises.
I love no surprises. That's a big deal.
Right.
Like good surprises, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Strawberries, flowers, those are great surprises.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's amazing. I learned a lot today. I mean, I'd love to say, being, you know, a younger Generation Z, guys, I am Generation Z. A lot of what my generation is learning is that the wealth is in real estate. And a lot of us want to learn more about real estate, more about investing, buying a home, investment properties. It's the conversation, and that's the truth. So for Adriana to be here to ask her questions, it's very relevant to the topic of what all of us are learning nowadays. And I'm sure everyone that's watching this on Facebook, if you know, there's a lot of value in this conversation as well. So I think this has very much been a very valuable conversation.
Absolutely. And Adriana, you are the rock star today. Thank you so much for your question. I think it was valuable to everybody in the room and everybody watching us live on Facebook or watching this as it replays. So thank you. I would just love to ask you, Adriana, tell us a little bit about your experience today. What'd you think of the show?
Thank you for having me. And I really enjoyed it. I think the anonymous question was also very helpful. I didn't realize I needed an answer to that until you asked it. So I was like, thanks for that.
Isn't that always the way it goes? It's like when somebody else asks the question, you're like, oh yeah, I should have asked that too. Or, oh, I didn't know that. So I totally agree, Adriana. There's so much power in us just being open and available as far as what questions kind of do pass through about real estate. And honestly, I never even thought of a renter doing a home inspection in advance, but what a brilliant idea. Love that little tidbit too. Thank you all for coming and joining us today. This was a fun show. We host the show Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, Thursdays at 2 o'clock. We are open for people joining us, buyers, sellers, anybody who has interest in real estate or questions around real estate would be the perfect person to join us. So if you think you know somebody that would like to join the show, feel free to reach out to any one of us and we can get them registered. We do have limited space per show, but we would love to add your friends and guests to the list. Also, I'd encourage you to follow us at the JS Realty team. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or our website. And same for the Simons team and same for Donna Frio. So thank you guys for being here and being the experts that you are. Jenna is going to put a link in the chat box area for you to click or save. That link has a direct link to all of us that were here on today's show and all of our contact information. So should you have any further needs or want to connect with us and chat one-on-one, we are always here, always available for you, and love, love, love educating all of our buyers and sellers about real estate in general. And if you would like to share your information, you can also drop that in the chat. And I just want to thank you for coming today. This was a great show. If you are a part of the team, please stay on after we end. But it's been a pleasure to see you guys today. This has been the best part of my day. So thank you. And we'll see you next time.